Fine. So anyone is having any doubt in unit 1 to 3? Because we are having our first paper, right? Mid semester on 24th. And the syllabus would be unit 1, 2, and 3, right? So if anyone is having any doubt, then let me know. No one? Anyone can unmute and answer because I just want to check my connection. Am I audible to you guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Fine. So anyone is having any doubt or should I start with the unit 4? That's what I'm
Ma'am,
asking.
ma'am, I
Yes.
want to ask you something. Ma'am, test is going on 24th, so it should be on Google Form or an app of the Marwadi
On
education.
app only, I think. 99% that would be on app.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Anyone who is having any doubt in unit 1, 2, 3, so they can ask right now. Okay. Or any time. I mean, if you wish, if you found any doubt, then you can ask. Okay. Fine. So let's start with the unit 4 if you are not having any doubt in unit 1, 2, 3, right? Fine. So object oriented programming, OOP. What it will do actually, in this we are having a class that is our building block, right? So that will encapsulate your data and functions into one package that is called class. So class is again a collection of data and functions, right? And the example of encapsulation is the class, that what we have discussed in unit 1, right? So here data means nothing but attributes or you can say variables, right? And the function means nothing but the behavior or activity or a process, right? Anything you can say. If we'll take again our same example of a car, right? So car is a class. So what could be the attributes of the car? So maybe it is related to the physical appearance, like a color of a car, or a company, or a model, or a variant, right? Or it would be like mileage or something like this, right? So these are the attributes, or you can say variables, or you can say it's a data, right? And we are having functions. Functions means activity of it. So what we can do with the car? So we can drive the car, we can fill the fuel, or you can say you can brake it, you can accelerate it, right? Anything, any functions or any behavior that is related to your class, that is known as function, right? And mostly we are having data and functions in our class. Though we will see what is constructor, what is destructors, and so many things will be added later on. But the basic building block, you can say, is your data and functions. Okay, so we are encapsulating or binding together the relevant things, and that is known as your class. So the classes are the user defined data type, right? Just like your structure. And the data means it is your data members and you are having functions. In other words, you can say the classes are nothing but just structures plus functions. Why structure plus functions? Because structure is again the collection of different variable with the different data type, right? So you will be having one structure with the keyword struct. You are giving any of the name just like student, right? And you are having an integer, roll number, and character name of 30, then integer marks, then float average of the marks, or anything, any related things which is related to student, that is binding together into the structure. Okay, But structures are not having the functions. It's only having variables, right? Yes or no? Right? So the structure is a unique feature of C language, which provides method for packing together data of the different types. Okay, different data types, and we are binding together into one unit. And a structure is a convenient tool for handling a group of data which are logically related to each other, right? Once the structure has been defined, we are creating variable of that type by declarations, and that are very similar to the built-in data type. So how you are declaring a variable of structure? I mean, the very first thing, that is what? Struct, right? Then you are giving I mean, the name of any structure. Maybe it is like this or something else. Anyone can tell me this? So the session would be interactive. How you can define a structure? Anyone voluntarily? Anyone? Pranav, Ayush Trivedi, Karachi, Rahil, Jitesh, Shivanand, anyone? Shubh? No one? You learned structure, right? Yeah. Okay. So that's structure. Then whatsoever the structure name is, right? And we are having structure variables. Yeah. Okay. Fine. So this is what I was doing is then character name of 30 or something like this, right? Integer, roll number, or something. Now if I want to create variable of the structure, then how I can write? Yes, Ritesh is also have written that structure name and structure variable. Yeah. So how you are writing structure variable? You can write it down in chat. Okay, structure name and the object, or you can say a variable. So I should write like this. Is it so? Or there would be a keyword struct over here or something like that? Anyone? Okay. In C, we have to write struct in front of a structure name. Okay, right? Anyone else? Yes, struct, then keyword like S or P. Okay. Yes, Shivana. Right. Fine. So here, how you are creating your structure variable, right? And here, once the structure has been defined, we are creating variable of that type by using the declarations that are similar to the built-in type declaration. And here, the C++ supports all the features of the structure defined in C, but C++ expanded its capability further to suit its OOP philosophy. So what we are having is in C++, we are having structures still in C++, right? But we are having better features than the structure which is known as class. So why to use structures and union, right? The class is nothing but the extended version of the structure, because structure was only having the variables, but the class is having variables as well as functions, as well as it would be having constructor, destructors, and so many things. Okay. So C++ attempts to bring a user-defined data type as closer as possible to built-in data type, and also provides the facility to hide the data, which is the main principle of OOP. Why we are using class and why we are not using structure? A main difference is that in structure, my data was not safe. But in class, my data is safe and secure. Why? Because we are having some access specifiers in class, what I can use. Okay? But in C language, in structure, I was not having any access specifier or modifiers. So my data was all accessible from anywhere, right? So it is by default public one. Anyone can access my data. But now in class, if I want that nobody can access my data, then I'm having the access specifier. I can make it as a private and nobody can access my data, right? So the last line is very important, that it also provides the facility to hide the data, which is the main principle of OOP. So in C++, the keyword struct, that can be omitted in the declaration of the structure variable. So for example, if you are having any structure variable, you can directly write like student and whatsoever the name you want to give, right? This is your C++ declaration. But that would be the error in C language. Okay? So C++ incorporates all this extension in the other user-defined data type known as class. And there is a very little syntactical difference between the structure and class. That is this, what I already said. The struct keyword is omitted, and instead of that struct, here, what I'll be having a keyword class. Okay, so class student, and whatever it is, end at the last semicolon. Don't forget this, right? So a very little difference between this class and the structure. The same way, you will be having the variable of this structure, and same way you are having the object of your class, because now onwards we will not use the variable word, right? We are not creating variable of a class, but instead we are saying this, we are creating object of the class, and this keyword has been eliminated. So directly how I can create the object? This is the object creation, right? How I can create the object? The name of a class, so this name of a class, and whatsoever you want to give as an object name, so that you can write. Okay. So here, what will be there in structure? In structure, you will be having variables only, but in class, what you are having is, you are having variables as well as functions. Okay. So here, structure versus class. This is the most important thing. Maybe in 1 mark, even if this has been asked, that what is the by default visibility of any of the member in class? So the answer is, it is private. If you are not writing anything here, if I have declared this class as a student, and I'm directly writing this is character name of 30 and integer roll number. So by default, what would be the access specifier or a modifier for this two variables? It is by default private. So whether you are writing like this, private, and this, or you are not writing anything and you are writing this character name of 30 and integer roll number, this both are the same. because if you are not specifying anything, it means by default this is private. If I want to declare any of the function, right, the character name of 30, integer roll number, and then I'm having one function void get data, something like this. So if I'm not writing anything, then by default this all three are the private one. But if I want to make my function as a public one, then I need to write it. So I need to write that, okay, this is the public. So the void get data will be public now. Otherwise, this would be the private one. Getting my point? Yes or no? Okay, fine. Okay. So here, member of a class are private by default, but the members of a structure are public by default. So anyone can access my data in structure, but now not in class. So in structure, if you are writing anything like struct test, and I'm having this integer x variable inside the structure, so by default the x is the public one. Okay. But in class, if I'm writing class test and I'm not specifying anything, but I'm just declaring my variable like this integer x, so the x is by default the private one. Right? This is the difference between structure versus class. Now, our main point, what is class? So, a building block of object-oriented programming is class. And it is a user-defined data type, right? You can even have this like, just like integer a. So this is your built-in data type, and you are giving any of the name to this data type. So you are creating variable a of type integer, right? So same way I'm having this student s1. So student is nothing but a user-defined data type, which is your class name, and you are giving over here s1. So that is of type student, right? So S1 is a type of student. So it is just a kind of your built-in data type, yes or no? Right? So class contains data members as well as member functions. A definition kind of thing, a class is a user-defined data type which binds the data and its associated functions together. So the relevant function, if you are making a class of human and you are including the functions of car, then there is no meaning, right? There is no relevance between these two classes. So whatsoever the relevant data you are having and you are binding it together, that is known as class. Getting my point? A class is having mainly two parts. One is class declaration and one is class function definition. Right? Yes or no? Okay. Now here is the syntax of a class. How you can write or how you can declare any of the class. This is the normal syntax. What is written there in syntax? First, that is class. Class is nothing but the keyword. And here, whatsoever the suitable name you want to give, that you can write. Then you are having a 3 access specifier. One is private, second public, and the protected. Okay. In each and every access specifier, you can have, a variable or function, a kind of access specifier. Means, I'm directly giving you the example. So this is, my class is a keyword. Then I'm having a student, that is the name of my class. Then I can have private, public and protected kind of data as well as functions. Okay, this three access specifier mainly I'm having, but protected right now I'm not using. Why? Because protected will come in picture once we will be having the concept of inheritance. Okay, inheritance. So where I would be having a concept of parent and child. So at that time this will be used. Otherwise till unit 5, because 4th and 5th, that is we are having from the 6th unit the concept of inheritance. So from there we will start using protected. So right now I'm not writing this. Okay, so only private and the public. So you can declare any of the variable as the private one, and you can even declare any of the member function as the private one. But ideally what should be there? Ideally what should be there? Your data should always be private and your function will always be the public. If you will make it as a private, then how the function will be accessed outside of the class? So that is the question. And if it is not accessible from the outside of the class, then why you made it? Okay, though this is possible to call this functions, right? If I'm having one function as a public one, say suppose void display, right, or something like this. So in this function I can call my private function like get data. So this I can call directly from my any function. So that is possible, fine. So for that purpose you can create even a private member function, but ideally what should be there, that what I'm saying. Okay, so you could be having a public, in that you can have character name of 30 and you are making this variable as the public one, right? And I'm having another member function, so that I've declared as public. So I can have my private variables as well as functions, and I'm having publicly available my variables as well as functions. But ideally this is not correct and this is not the correct. Getting my point? Yes or no? Okay, fine. So always what we will do is we will make our data private and we'll make our functions as the public one, ideally. Right? So here this is what I have explained, that is the syntax of class. The binding of data and functions together in a single class type variable is referred as encapsulation, and the example of encapsulation is class. Now how we are doing the data hiding in class? How we are doing data hiding? So I'm having one class, there is no direct entry in my public section. If I want to access anything, so that is possible, but via public functions. You cannot directly access any of the data, or you cannot manipulate any of the data directly. But indirectly, you can only access the variable. So it would be like what? Say suppose I'm having, I just want to take the input from the user for this data. Okay, but I cannot write like this directly in my function in outside, right? Say suppose I'm having integer main, right? And in integer main I cannot write like this directly, scene, roll number, scene, name. This is not possible because these are not the normal variable, but these are actually your class variables. This is, I'm making it as a private. Making it as a private now. And this is the public one. Okay. Now I'm changing it as according to the ideal thing. So this is the ideal thing. My data should be the private one and my functions would be the public one. But I cannot directly do this, seeing roll number and name. Why? Because my data I have declared as the private one. You cannot use my data directly outside of the class. So now if I want to do such kind of thing, how I can do it? Via functions, which is available publicly. So what I'll do, I'll put this code inside my function. Getting my point? What I'm doing is, so if you want to do anything like this scene, so you can use this function, but you cannot directly use this. So indirectly you can do this. So now I can call this function, right? Get data. Though you cannot directly write this function like this way, here the object is required. Okay, but right now I'm not saying this thing. You can call the function and you can do this thing. Right? Same way, you cannot write the cout statement directly over here. That cout roll number, cout name. So you cannot print such kind of data directly in integer main. So what I can do? I can do such kind of things within the public function. So the same thing that what I'm doing in display function, and now I'm calling the display function. Getting this thing. So ultimately get data function is accessing roll number and name, right? And this display function is again accessing roll number and name, and they are printing that data for you. And this get data is taking the input from the user for you, right? So this way indirectly you can use the data which is the private one, but not directly, indirectly they can use. So I hope you are getting this figure perfectly. Getting this thing, just look at to the figure. No entry to the private area, entry allowed through the public area. Through the public area, if any of the data is public over there, then they can use directly, right? If I have declared my any of the variable as a one over here, these two are the private one. But if I am having anything public one, like integer marks, something like this, okay, so that will be accessible over here, that will be accessible over here. So that is fine if the data is public one and if the functions are the public one. But if my data is the private one and if my functions are the private one, then it is not directly accessible. But this function can call my private function, and this public function can even use my private data into their function. So that is fine. Okay. And this public data even has been used by my private function. So that is also possible, because in my single class, anyone can access anything. Private can be accessed by the public members can be accessed by the private one or the protected one. So this thing is possible. That is fine. This is all about within the class. Within the class, everything is accessible. This is what not accessible, that what we are talking is outside of the class, some of the things are not possible. Okay? Yes. Fine. Now, the first example of the class, that how you can write any of the class like this. Class employee. Here class is nothing but a keyword. Employee is what? Your class name. This is your body of the class, where you are having three variables declared as the private, and you are having two functions, get data and put data. that is you have declared as a public. So whatsoever you are writing in between the opening curly braces and the closing curly braces, that is known as body of the class, right? Then what is this private and public? These are known as access specifiers, right? Access specifiers. What is this three variables? They are the private data members of the class. And what is this public? This get data and put data, that is nothing but the public member functions of the class. And at the last, semicolon, which will indicate that this is end of your class scope. This is very similar to your structure. Very similar. So here instead of the class, you were having struct keyword, right? And here we are having a class keyword. But the class is much more important in terms of the OOP principles, right? Because it is having, you can create the objects of this class, you are having access specifiers of the class, then you will be having inheritance concept in this class, right? Many of the things are there. So we'll see that one by one. Now, what is access specifier? Though we have seen this thing in unit 1, but now again this thing is in unit 4, right? We are having private, protected and public access specifier. From private to public, it is less restrictive. And from public to private, it is more restrictive, right? Because the private members, you cannot directly access outside. Then you are having the protected one, which is somehow liberal compared to private, but restricted as compared to the public. How? As I have given you the example at the time of unit 1, I am again repeating my example. See, suppose you are having the security code in your smartphone, right? So why you have put this security code in your mobile phone? Because it is not directly accessible for the outside of world, right? You don't want to share your private data with anyone, and that is why you are having this security code, right? So that is known as the private thing. Here in private members, even somebody will can access outside of your class. That is friend. You are already aware of this keyword friend function, right? And I've given you some example of this friend function, like if you are having your best friend and you want to share your private data with your best friend, then it is possible, right? You are making him as your friend and you are sharing your security code with him. So now only two persons can access it. One is you and the another one is your best friend. So the private member can be accessible either by you or by your best friend. If you are allowing him, if you are making him as a friend, otherwise not possible, right? Then the second thing, that is the protected one. Now many of the times it happens that you know the security code of your father's mobile, right? So that is accessible by you, right? The vice versa is not possible. That is the another thing, because you are not sharing your code with your dad, but at least dad is sharing his code with you guys, right? So that is known as the protected one. So where you are having inheritance consent. So the parent class and the child class. So parent class is sharing the data with the child class. So child can easily access the members of the parent. So what parent need to do? Parent need to put that kind of variables in protected access specifier. So child can use it. Okay, so that is known as protected. So now only two persons are knowing this thing. One is your father and one is you. Means two persons, parent and child. And yeah, one another person, that is friend. Again, friend concept is there. If any best friend or your parent class is making a friend of any other class, then they can also access your data, just like the private one, just like the private one. So now three persons are knowing this thing: best friend, father itself, and the child itself. Right? So three persons. Getting my point? Yes or no? Getting this thing? What is private and what is protected? Right? And the public, that all we know. Right? The public is accessible from anywhere. Public members are accessible from anywhere. That is openly public for all. Right? To understand this thing is only about the private and protected. These two are the difficult ones. Otherwise, public is accessible from anywhere. So there can be three access specifiers in C++: private, protected, and public. Private members can be accessed from other members of the same class only or from the friend of the class. Right? So two-person class itself and different function or a friend class. Right? Then the protected one. Protected members can be accessed from members of the same class, from the friend class, and also from the members of the derived class. Derived class means child class. Okay, so three persons. Class itself means the parent class itself, then friend of the parent class, and the member of the derived class. Okay, these three. Then you are having public. So public member can be accessed from anywhere through the object of the class, right? So here private, protected, and public, these are also known as visibility labels. So you can say that access specifier, access modifiers, or you can say visibility modifiers, or you can say visibility labels. These all are the same thing, right? If an exam it is asked to be that explain the visibility labels, then also you have to explain this three only: private, public, and protected. Okay? So in C++, data can be hidden by making it private. So in 1 mark question, it may be asked that how you can hide the data with the use of class. So you can say that the class is having the access specifier known as private. So if you are putting private in front of any of the variable, it means that you are making it as a private and now nobody can access it. Thus, you are hiding your data, right? By making it private. Now the public access specifier. All the class members declared under the public will be available to everyone. So the data members and the member functions declared public that can be accessed by other classes also. Hence, there are the chances that might change them. So where the data manipulation happens, right? Because it is public. So anyone can change my data. So the key members must not be declared public. Though if you are making it as a public, compiler will not raise any error. It is possible, but ideally it is not possible. Ideally what you need to do, your key members must be the private one. It is not be declared as public one. Okay. So how you can write anything, I mean any variable or any member function, how you can make it as a public. So again they have repeated the same syntax, but as according to the theory, this is there. So I have put it, right? So the class, then public access, you are making it as a public, then colon. Colon is very important, huh? Don't forget it. If you are only writing private and then directly your members and the functions, then it will raise an error because access specifier will end by the colon, only colon. So after writing this public, you are writing colon and then start initializing or declaring your variables and functions. Okay, so integer x and void display. So data member and member function, here it is declared as public. Same way for the private, no one can access the class member declared as the private outside of that class. So if someone tries to access your private member, they will get a compile time error, right? That you cannot access this data directly. So by default, the class variables and member functions are the private one. If you are not writing anything, it means this is private. So whether you are specifying this private or not, it will be private only. So the private access specifier, you are writing integer x and void display. So your member function and your data member, this both are the private one. Okay. Then the protected one, it is very similar to the private one, but and it makes the class member inaccessible outside of the class. It is very similar to your private one because outside of world cannot use your data. Your father's, your parents' mobile security code will not be accessible by the outside of world, right? Other people cannot use it. Only the child is knowing the code, right? So the parent-child relationship is there and only two persons are knowing this. But they can be accessed by any of the subclass of that class, right? So parent class and child class. So if the class A is inherited by the class B, then class B is known as the subclass of class A. Means class B is the child of class A. So this class A is nothing but your father and the class B is that you. Okay, so you can access the security code, right? So class protected access, and here you can declare your data member and the function as a protected one, so your child can use it. Right? So thus integer x and void display can be accessed by your child, but not by the outside of world, right? Because it is very similar to the private one. Now this table, class member access specifier, here private, protected and public. Here the first column is accessible from own class. So each and every access specifier, whether you will declare it as a private, protected or public, it is accessible in own class. So within the class, everything is accessible, whether it is private, public or protected. So everywhere it is yes, yes and yes. Why? Because it is accessible from its own class, within the class, right? Second one is accessible from the derived class. So if your father is making it as a private, many of the times he is having a credit card or a debit card number, ATM pin, so he don't used to share this thing with the child, right? So that is the private one. So that is fine, right? So father is not sharing some of the data with the child, then it must be there in a private section. And some of the things that father wants to share with the child, that thing he will put into the protected section. So that is accessible for the child. So that is yes, right? So if it is declared in protected section, if it is protected member, then it is accessible from the derived class, or you can say the child class. So it is yes. Then you are having the public member, of course, it is accessible from anywhere, whether it is derived or its own class or it is outside of the class. So accessible from the object means outside of the class through the object. Is private member is accessible? No. Through the object outside of world or outside of your class means from the integer main, is the protected member is accessible? No. Only the public one is accessible. Getting my point? Yes or no? Okay, fine. Fine. So now here one example. Here in class A, I've taken one member as a private and one member as a public one, right? The very first task in integer main is creating object of this class. So what is the class name? A. And what is my object name? Small a. So that's what I have taken. You can take any of the name over here, A, B, C, D. That is of your like, right? So I have taken it small a. So here that is nothing but the object creation. Now any members, any public members are also accessible through the object only, right? Because they are no more a simple variable, just like a local or global variable. They are member of the class. So without the permission, you cannot access it. And the permission agent, you can say, it's nothing but your object. So even in your structure, you used to write like what? If this is your structure, your struct student, right? And you are creating like this student S1. So S1 is a variable of your structure student, right? And you are accessing your data through this S1 dot roll number. Isn't it? Because roll number is no more a normal variable. Instead, it is a variable of your structure. That is why you used to write like this. So same way in a class, I'm creating object of student, say suppose S, student S. Okay. And now if I want to call any of the function, what I need to write? S dot get data, S dot display, because these two functions are not my normal global functions. These are actually the member of the class that is named as student. So the permission is required, or you can say the permission agent is S. So through the S and with the dot operator, you can call any of the function. Getting my point? So if it is the public one, right? If it is a public one, say suppose I have declared one variable as a public one, that is integer marks. So I can access this, I can write like this, cin and marks. But not only marks, what I need to write? S dot marks. Okay, so this marks will be taken by user. Secondly, if you want to print the same data, you can write s dot marks and see out. So this will be printed on your screen. Getting my point? So this way the public members can be accessed outside of the class, because integer main is nothing but outside of the class and you can access it. But the same way you cannot write like this s dot roll number. Why you cannot write like this? This is wrong. Because roll number you have declared it as a private one. This is private and these marks are the public, so I can access. Right? So here, if I want to initialize the value of x, what I can write? A dot x is equals to 10. But x is what? Private member. So you cannot write it like this, and this is error. But the same thing if I'll do with the public member, that is y, that is a dot y is equals to 20, then this is valid. Fine. You cannot write y is equals to 20. No. Because y is a member of class A, so you have to write a dot y, not only y. Fine. Same way, see out the value of x is what, and if I'm directly printing like a dot x, then it will show me an error. But if I'll write like this, value of y, a dot y, then this is the valid one. Okay, then this is valid. Here I'm having one example. Quickly I'm writing this example, right? I'll save it first. has include IO string using namespace std. Now I'm having one class named as person. In this person class, I just want to write character name of 20 or 30, whatsoever it is, and integer age. These two variables I have taken as a private. If I am not writing anything, it means it is private, right? But if I want to declare my functions as the public one, then I need to write it as the public. Then I'm having void get data function and one another function, that is void display or put data. Anything you can take a name, right? Now in this function, what I'm writing is scene kind of statement. So first I'll write that cout enter name. So the name will be entered, right? I'll take it with the scene name. Same for the cout enter age. And here I'm having scene age, right? And the same thing in display. In display, what I used to do, cout statements, your name is this. So that is name. I'll do handle. Same way, cout your age is this. So what is the age? So that I'll write age. Simple. So here I've written my two functions, get data and display. In get data, I'm taking the data from user, and in display, I'm just showing my data on screen. Now the very next line is about integer main. Our goal is you need to keep as many as number of lines, reduced lines in integer main. So very less number of lines I'm having in integer main now. First task, very first task, with your closed eyes you can write like this, your class name and the object name. In any program, the very first line is creation of object. So what is my class name? Person and P. So that is the object. Now if I wish to call my functions get data, then what I need to write? P dot get data. Now I need to call my function display, then what I need to write? P dot display. So the program is over. Here just the function calling lines, and that's it. Integer main is over. So now when I'll execute this code, it will take some time maybe. So meanwhile, I'm asking that if anyone is having any doubt in this session, or everything is clear to you guys, what is class and what is object, this is very important. So here I'm having my output, enter the name, right? And I'm entering my name over here, enter the age. So here it is showing that what is your name and what is your age. Getting this thing? Yes or no? Right? No doubt? Great. If any methods I need to change in my teaching, then let me know. What I used to do is I'm showing you the PPT as well as I'm showing you the code at the same time. So there will be no doubt, hopefully. But still if you find I need to change my methodology of teaching, then you can give me the suggestion. I never mind. Okay, fine. So that's all from my side for today. Thank you all. You can write down your enrollment number and you may leave the meeting. Thank you.